The girl is jumping at the foot of a mobile phone man face POO quickly picked up only to find that the tape covered with antique mobile phone has been broken. She ignored the girl's son barefoot went to the mobile phone shop to see her passers-by immediately crazy and typed behind her. I followed you to sign in and it was Mr. Gao who flew up and said sign in. The arrival of the man made everyone excited because he was the most popular singer of the day. The clerk excitedly said that he had the latest smartphone, but Carl refused. Fortunately, the store ran over to try to repair it. Looking at the old antiques in front of him, he guessed that there must be information that Carl cherished very much. Fortunately, the store manager really quickly repaired the phone. Carl put the phone to his ear and inside was a message from a woman who was still red eyes even after listening to countless times. This is a touching love story. After reading it, you will know who is the most worthy of cherish. 8 years ago, there was a girl who put on a wedding dress for her, but when she was happy to accept the blessings of her friends, the husband Carl quietly left in pursuit of his dream. No one can personally understand how sad and disappointed the girl was at this moment after 8 years of struggle. Carl finally achieved success, but deep down, she has been full of guilt for the girl, but she does not know how to face the girl, so she can only use a raincoat left in the mobile phone to ease the missing feelings until she saw the news reported that the best brother she grew up with died in a car accident, so she hurriedly hid the company and agent to return to the hometown. But sitting outside the church uninterested, a woman came running up with a little girl with her eyes on each other and they were both stunned that the woman was Carl who had been missing Annie for 8 years without leaving any trace on her face to face with the man she loved and hated. And directly chose to ignore the back of looking at and to leave. Carl's heart is very bad to be chased after the end of Annie helped. Carl has not gone so angrily walked in the past without any hesitation. A punch will deceive the man playing with women's feelings down to the ground. Carl followed the face of helpless father returned home looking at a child and mother's photos and mother that was completely abandoned rose garden. Carl was like his father a lifetime ago. Also growing old for the so-called dream he missed too much. Carl heart is very bad taste, so call the broker to push away hundreds of millions of business activities. Broker anxious but no way. Carl found comfort in a flower shop but dare not approach can finally impulse or overcome reason. Carl or carefully walked in a day always boring his 4 weeks to hire no and this is said to listen to his eyes some dodge and ignore his existence. Even grandma before the car also scold Carl is a fool. Carl tried to sit close to and but directly under the host. On her happiest wedding day she was no longer around when her mother died and her daughter was born and now she's barely survived it. Why should she just walk away when she wants to? And there's a kind of awkward silence of the callow team and then suddenly there's a crisp voice and a lovely little girl walks in. Ilove we warfada tuchurio take Kong to mountain mother's mood. What girl and renewed panic let Carl heart at this time between a hope looked at the girl didn't rain so familiar she has a bold guess hard the squat down to ask her age know that when she was 7 years old. Carl in the mind has a bottom and Annie in the side look complex. Girl left after and drank a drink said that he also wanted to deal with the child but still by the heart cannot bear these years he experienced. The ups and downs are all thanks to Carl. Said and red eyes let Carl heart of guilt more she was about to show her mind want to tell and these years she is thinking about her every day. Can Anne's brother suddenly appear let her immediately leave the town. Carl no want to recover the beloved woman again. There is a long way to go but she will not give up. He's a multimillionaire celebrity who left his first love for his dream at his wedding 8 years ago but she didn't take him anywhere else. And gave birth to the lovely you for him. In order to make up for the mistake he decided to go all out. Carl carefully asked if he could see you looking at Carl's sincere eyes. Annie relented but said she would ask her daughter's advice. My clever daughter had already guessed that Carl was his father on Ghost Hill Road but then hastened to explain that his father had no idea he existed. Let the daughter not be bitter about this. Daughter suggested inviting Carl to dinner in the evening. To the doctor for a while I did not eat dinner in the evening when the daughter said very seriously that I cannot call you father right now. Because we don't know each other well enough that you don't even know that I don't like Wang Wuxian. And Annie opened the Nico necklace that Carl sent him and it was the necklace he wanted most. But not anymore and it's hard to make up for something that's missing when your daughter pulls Carl into her room and shows her pictures of herself and her favorite pet rabbit. Two people sit together and talk about a lot of interesting things when they have only met a few times but feel very friendly to each other. Yeah, well, we were the one I was with Shibeo when we left and he felt a little guilty and said he didn't get the right one. And said that neither she nor her daughter needed the material gifts they wanted the day-to-day companionship. Anne returned the necklace and Carl said that her daughter's smile was like a word that brought back memories of the two of them. There was a nice smile on her face when Carl said that she wanted to pick up her daughter from school tomorrow. But it's all moving so fast, why should he come and go when he wants to, and why should he want to be so involved in his life after just a few days? Carl understood Anne's concerns, but she desperately wanted to understand each other with her daughter, so she knelt down and Anne softened again. Agreed that Carl would be at school on time the next day to finance the car, but his daughter rejected his luxury car and said that the survival rate of a convertible accident was too low. So much so that Carl had to call his father for help and take his daughter for his favorite ice cream. Overcome, Carl's whim to play guitar with his daughter. He was curious and obsessed and even showed amazing talent, which amazed Carl when he told Annie he wanted to teach his son how to play the guitar, and the three of them spent more time together singing and planting flowers. Shopping together. This is the daughter from the memory of the most beautiful time, he asked him, and he was the question. Amy is not very confused. He thought carefully to think patiently to answer, and quietly listening outside the house. There are memories of the release, also have expectations for the future. Then I don't have to think about this moment when Carl feels like his heart is melting. She gently kissed her daughter and then went out to ask Anne's advice. Anne said that the name father represented a greater responsibility. Carl was sure that she was ready to smile, as if Annie could not help laughing. He waited too long and he wanted to introduce Anne to the world, and Anne laughed like a flower at night when her daughter learned the news. Happy personally to mother spit, Annie was received by a luxury car outside. Carl is standing in a suit beside the helicopter, and so on. Hidden step by step through the flowers in the eyes filled with the vision of a better future. Beautiful. Let Carl step open his eyes. Two people hand in hand into the noisy crowd. Carl announces his wife to everyone and then dances in the middle of the dance floor, and the two people who are in love right now don't think. A change is quietly happening. A happy family dinner can be. The little girl was choking. Uncle and Annie rushed to the first aid. My own father stood there at a loss, and I had a picture of him as a child dealing with the death of his mother. He was as helpless as now, but his uncle would still try to impress the first aid, and the daughter soon spit out the expression of duty but uncle's disappointment. Carl remorse turned away. At night Carl went to the bar alone to buy. Drunk uncle came to ask him to feel in front of the man and know a few points unworthy of being a husband and father. Carl did not carry out any even felt that such a waste of herself could not give Annie and her daughter the happiness they wanted, so she chose to leave alone again, leaving only a brief note. The thought of crying heartbroken woman. Carl began to perform all over the country. She will all this experience into the work of the husky magnetic voice, with the lonely feelings of the opinion suddenly stabbed in the hearts of countless fans. But the agent saw that Carl's state is not right and asked her in the end how Carl said that day. The agent said, "You are at a loss. It's because you love him so much, and it's because you care so much, that what you need to do now is to make up for your shortcomings, like learning more about first aid instead of being an idiot and hiding from reality." What the agent said to Carl got him thinking, and he knew he'd done something stupid again, and he rushed off the plane and he heard a million voicemails. Also in the ear answer to tell us that we do not want to do HK. I did not take the class to blame. Your gift will soon come to let you sew, or 51 inside to deduct your. Oh, do not complete, for you will forget to ask. Do not know Nettie's on the field. Also sent a white pants over there. You are not good. I say you, my bag will be. B is ready. You have a lot. Carl summoned the courage to call Annie and also explained his actions by leaving a voicemail. He said that his mother's death had a profound psychological impact on him, and that he feared that one day he would lose the person he loved the most, as he had lost his mother. So he ran away like a coward on his wedding day 8 years ago, but now he's ready to face it, and he's determined to make up for it with his whole life. One torrential night Carl came to Annie's door, but he could knock on the door and get no answer. He stood in the rain and called out to Annie. The name is still no answer. He can only put the antique mobile phone at Anne's door. Thought his fate was completely cut off by himself. But the next morning Anne took the initiative to appear outside the window of Carl, plus his face of guilt and panic came to Anne in front of fear that he would say completely no more words. But did not expect, and slowly took out the mobile phone and asked, "So even Harry Indulge ducked?" Black Thunder 2 Ghost Fire Passires a Speakman. Do you have that interest in Makachiber single in 1300? That woman loves not without asking who loves him. That's the love and hate that we've been kissing for 8 years since I screwed them. At this moment to get all the release of Carl and daughter on the stage together to perform a Talkfield named Clock Home. Then in the witness of friends and relatives held the late 8 years of the wedding. On this day, She was still smiling and full of expectations for the future. This time, she did not choose to escape but made a lifelong vow together with her daughter. In the long river of love, we always make various mistakes childish. So we have to have forgiveness if we want to maintain love. If you really love him, please don't hurt him. If you think he deserves to be loved again, then try to give him a chance at redemption. Love is not a battlefield. Do not need to fight to kill myself. Well, here is for better life. Subscribe to us for more. Thank you.